Yeah, we back. Now, today's video is going to be a follow-up video to one I dropped yesterday entitled The Architectural Genius of the Black Man. And in the video yesterday, I gave a background, I gave a history lesson, I gave a rundown of the fact that black men built the largest military fortress in the history of the world. And nobody talks about it, right? So go check that video out I dropped yesterday entitled The Architectural Genius of the Black Man. Now, in this video, this is going to be a part 2. Now, in this video, we're going to talk about the Palace of Sans-Souci, the Sans-Souci Palace. And just like the Citadel we spoke about yesterday, the largest military fortress in the entire Western Hemisphere, including the world, we are going to talk about the palace. And both of these structures were commissioned and built by the same person around the same time period. Both of these structures are significant because even though black men have already displayed our architectural genius all the way back in Africa, going back thousands of years, all the way back to the Egyptian pyramids, these structures were significant because they were built by the population coming out of slavery. Just like the Citadel we spoke about yesterday, the palace was built with no outside help. This was black men left to their own devices and their own creativity, and this is what they came up with. As we know, during this time, white men were pushing a bunch of false theories as it pertained to the intellectual capability of the black race. They felt that intellectually, black men could not stand on the same playing field as white men. That's how they justified slavery. That's how they justified colonialism. But when the Europeans were ran out of the island, and then within a few years, all these structures started popping up all over the place, the world was blown away. Now, let's get into it, man. Let's talk about it. The Palace of Sans-Souci. The Sans-Souci Palace was the principal royal residence of Henry I, King of Haiti, better known as General Henry Christophe. It is located in the town of Millau, 3 miles northeast of the Citadel. One of Christophe's inspirations to build the structure came from the Prussian King Frederick the Great, who had a summer palace that also shares the name of Sans-Souci. Proud of its magnificence, the Palace of Sans-Souci was an important step in Christophe's plan to demonstrate to foreigners, particularly Europeans and Americans, the power and capability of the black race. The pride in the construction of the king's palace was captured by the comment of his secretary and architect, Baron de Vasti, who said that the palace and its nearby church, constructed by blacks, show that we have not lost the architectural taste and genius of our ancestors who covered Ethiopia, Egypt, Carthage, and old Spain with their superb monuments. Now, time out. Yes, as you know, if you've been watching my videos, my playlists, things like that, then you already know, you're familiar with the name Baron de Vasti. You are very familiar with that name. That name always comes up in my videos. This was the king's right-hand man, his secretary. Yes, he was a half-white man. He was a mulatto man, but don't get it twisted. Baron de Vasti was a proud black man. You heard what he said. I'm going to repeat his quote once again. The palace and the nearby church, constructed by blacks, show that we have not lost the architectural taste and genius of our ancestors who covered Ethiopia, Egypt, Carthage, and old Spain with their superb monuments. Now, I gotta ask myself, this is the generation coming out of slavery. This is the generation coming out of the revolution. How the hell did they know about Ethiopia, Egypt, Carthage, and old Spain? How did they know about that? Like, I be asking myself this because if you go by the European narrative of history, then you would think that our ancestors was a bunch of incoherent, low IQ, babbling baboons, babbling buffoons that didn't even know up from down or left from right. But as soon as the Europeans left, all of a sudden our genius began to shine. All of a sudden our genius began to percolate all over the place, right? How did they know about this? Even if you go to my playlist section, I have a playlist entitled Newspapers from the Haitian Revolution. And in that playlist, I dug up news articles from over 200 years ago from the Haitian government between the years 1812, 1813, 1814. And the one thing that I always say to myself is I'm always blown away at the level of articulate writing. This is the generation coming out of slavery. And if you go check out that series I did entitled Newspapers from the Haitian Revolution, one thing I always say to myself was, ain't no way this was the generation coming out of slavery. Ain't no way, because the writing is on the same level as some PhD, you know what I mean? Some master's degree. You would not think that this is the same generation coming out of slavery, man. I'm telling you. Anyways, let's continue. The majestic ruins of the palace stand amid verdant mountains in the north of Haiti. The site evokes the reign of King Henry, who was instrumental in the Haitian Revolution that won independence from France in 1804. The architectural complex was commissioned in 1810 and completed in 1813 as the residence and administrative center of the king. Unfortunately, its use proved short-lived, as it ceased to function as a political headquarters following the death of the king in 1820 and was damaged beyond repair due to an earthquake in 1842. Now in ruins, the palace was once a bustling whirlwind of feasts, dancing, and parties with grandiose gardens, artificial springs, and a system of waterworks enjoyed by many. Hold up. Black men was installing the system of waterworks. How the hell did they know how to build a system of waterworks? Yo, I gotta talk to the ancestors. Like, how did y'all do this? How did y'all build so much magnificent shit? And nowadays, black men can't even build shit. Yo, the black man of the 21st century can't even build shit. And the black man coming out of slavery was, listen, man, I don't even know what to say. Anyways, man, let's continue. Enjoyed by many overseas guests, the palace had a reputation of being one of the most magnificent constructions of the West Indies. The palace was named after Jean-Baptiste Sans-Souci, an African-born man who was a military veteran in his homeland and held great influence in the northern regions of Haiti, where Christophe would later establish his political and military stronghold. During the revolution, Jean-Baptiste Sans-Souci had refused to recognize Christophe's authority as his superior, which led to Christophe ordering his assassination. The palace is built near the site where Sans-Souci was murdered. The dominant feature of the complex is the symmetrical classical facade with its Baroque double stairway and the vestiges of adjoining gardens and pools. Grouped around the grandiose palace in the form of an amphitheater are remnants of accompanying structures: the administrative buildings, the prince's residence, horse stables, army barracks, a prison, an arsenal, a workshop, and a hospital. The palace was the most important of 9 different palaces commissioned by the king, as well as 15 castles, numerous fortresses, over 20, I mentioned that in the last video, and multiple summer homes on his 20 estates. Listen, man, Christophe, big boss. Big boss. Big boss. Big boss. Anyways, man. And y'all wonder why I call him the most powerful black man of the last 500 years, man. You got to understand the economic and political landscape of the time, right? The majority of black men in the West are currently in chains. And currently at this time, West Africa in particular is currently unstable. So there really isn't anywhere in the world where a black man could really enjoy peace and tranquility during this time, right? It's a lot of warfare going on back home in the homeland, on the continent, and in the West, black men are currently in slavery. So then you got this black man in this little island of Hispaniola, right? This little island of Hispaniola. And he's doing it big on this level. That's why I call him the most powerful black man of the last 500 years. And the most powerful black man before him was Mansa Musa, and that was 700 years ago. So he got the title of the most powerful black man of the last 1,000 years. So the most powerful black man, if you want to go farther than that, you got to go back to like the Egyptian kings or something like that. So listen, you got the Egyptian kings, you got Mansa Musa, and then you got King Henry Christophe. Anyways, let's get back into it. Many elite guests and diplomats visited the palace during its active years, including American merchants, doctors, captains, 2 white female teachers from the United States who served as the tutors for the royal princesses and lived inside the palace along with the royal family. One of the most notable guests was British General Sir Holmriggs Popham, Commander-in-Chief at the Jamaica Station. If y'all watch my series that I did on Christophe entitled The Most Powerful Black Man of the Last 500 Years, then you're already familiar with the name Sir Holmriggs Popham. That's a white boy that was always popping up, kicking it with Christophe, things like that. They'll be chilling at the palace, sipping liquor, sipping wine, smoking cigars, talking politics, talking about the world affairs, things like that. You know, there were many dignified guests that would pop up at the palace. And as I mentioned before in previous videos, when Christophe passed away, they discovered a fortune. Like I told you, in the Citadel, they found $40 million. When you convert that to the currency of today, that would be $10 billion. $10 billion with a B. Inside the palace, after Christophe passed away, they discovered a little over $250,000. You convert that to today's currency, that would be around about a little over $6 million. And these structures not only serve as inspiration for me, but it shows that when black men are left to their own devices, when we can live in peace, unbothered by the ambitions of the Europeans, man, our genius gonna shine. Our genius gonna shine bright. And that's another reason why I never accept the victim mentality from my brothers, because when I look at the ancestors and what they accomplished and what they built with way less resources and way less information and way less technology, and when I look at today, when we have way more resources, way more technology, way more information, and we can't even accomplish or build not even a fraction of what they did, I'm not accepting no victim mentality from none of y'all. You either gonna handle your business and accomplish what you're supposed to accomplish, or it is what it is. I'm not trying to hear nothing. I'm not trying to hear nothing about no white supremacy. I'm not trying to hear none of that shit. I know the greatness of the black man. I know what the black man can do. I know what the black man can accomplish if he puts his mind to it. If a bunch of black men and women coming out of slavery who never sat a single day in a Western curriculum classroom can establish a nation, establish an economy, establish cash flow, and then build all these structures and palaces. Remember, it was like 10 different palaces, 20 different fortresses, 15 castles, a church, a damn, hospital, a prison. Like, all this shit was built by people who never sat a day in a single classroom to learn about no Christopher Columbus. And all y'all with y'all degrees and y'all PhDs and all your JDs and all this shit, and y'all can't even build shit. So that's why I have the mentality that I have. I'm not accepting no excuses from no black man. One comment that I got on my video that I dropped yesterday on the Citadel, which, man, I was laughing when I read it. One of the homies got into the comment section and he said, yo, how did they build this without modern technology, like a crane? And I was thinking about it. I was like, yo, how did they build it without no crane? Like, how did they get the stones up the damn mountain? And then how did they get the damn blocks all the way up to the top? Those like geometric corners. Like, how did they do it? How did they do it? Yo, that's the one question I'm gonna ask their ancestors if I ever got the opportunity, man. The one question I'm gonna ask is, how y'all build the pyramids, and how the hell did y'all build the citadel? The palace I could understand. Because back in Africa, you know, we done built all type of palaces and structures and all type of shit. But the citadel, how the hell did y'all do that? How did y'all do that? How did y'all do that, man? The Europeans said our ancestors had no intelligence, low IQ, no capability, no intellectual capacity. And then as soon as the Europeans left, all this fly shit started popping up, man. All this legendary shit. And I'm going to read that quote once again from the King's Secretary, Baron de Vasti. I'm going to read the quote once again because it's so powerful. He said, the palace and the church constructed by blacks show that we have not lost the architectural taste and genius of our ancestors who covered Ethiopia, Egypt, Carthage, and old Spain with the superb monuments. Bruh, telling you, man, black man, you got greatness locked inside of you. You just wasting time. You just bullshitting, but you got greatness locked inside of you, bro. You do. You don't need no outside help. You don't need no outside influence. All you need is to be united with your brothers in one common cause, one common agenda, one common objective. And I promise you, you can accomplish and you can build whatever it is you can desire. You can accomplish and build your desired reality, your preferred reality, if you are united with your brothers. If you are not united with your brothers, then you will always be beholden to the influences of outside forces and those who do not have your best interests at heart because you refuse to unite. When the black man is united, when the black man is organized, he cannot be stopped. He cannot be stopped. The one thing that the Egyptian pyramids and the citadel and the palace and all these structures have in common, they were built by black men who are free from outside influence, who are free from the influence of outsiders, and they had free reign to immerse themselves in their creativity and their production. No outside help, no outside financing, no help from the IMF, no help from the Paris Club, no help from the US government, none of that, bro. Black men putting in work, putting their creativity to good use. So it is what it is, man. It's your boy Neferkari Desalegn back in the building. Yes, indeed. Like, share, subscribe, Cash App in the description. And I'm gone. Peace.
Reincarnated, I'm back in original fashion. I left on a horse and came back in that ass, and I left with abundance and came back to famine. We used to be pyramids, now we be rapping. Look how the mighty have fallen. Used to be running, now we be walking. When you be cooning, that's when they applauded. Selling your soul, your sons and your daughter. Gotta come up in this shit, they stuck in the mix. Really, my heart it be breaking. That's why I'm stacking that paper and handle my business. Pass it down in generation. Talking about money and power and building a nation. That's a deadly combination. Never be watching the TV, they pushing agendas, falsifying information. No, they got malice intentions. Step in the room and I'm feeling the tension. Enemy watching, he blocking my vision. Pay for the check cause I need my redemption. Building my kingdom, I need it protected. Ready for war like a young Money Congo. Never decided the team is the motto. Up in the crib and I'm whipping up waffles. Up in the crib and I'm smoking gelato. I'm chilling, I'm taking my pain and make it ambition. I'm blessed by the gods, but I ain't religious. I came for the power, they came for the bitch. They making no hourly wage, I got business. This shit is an art and they could never be taught. Selling my soul, I can never be bought. Play with my money, I see you ain't caught. Run to the check and I do it for sport. Babylon falling, I go to the source. Packing my luggage and go overseas. Shorty be with me and she so elite. Shorty be chocolate, I'm calling her Hershey. Secret intelligence probably gon' murk me. Don't fuck with brands cause nigga I'm Haitian. Say the wrong shit and you're smacking their faces.